let's get started and we will start laying down. So find your way to your yoga mat, grab any props that you'd like to bring with you, bring them onto your mat with you, maybe a pillow or a blanket or whatever you need. We'll start in a restful position. Maybe that's Shavasana, corpse pose with your arms and legs outstretched. Maybe that's constructive rest pose with your knees bent and your feet standing up at the edges of your mat. I like to let my knees rest together at the center. If it feels better to be on one of your sides or seated or any other position, you just keep adjusting yourself until you feel like you can settle in. And once you get comfy, just taking a clearing breath, a sigh with your next exhale. If one clearing breath isn't enough, you take as many as you need. Just kind of clearing and releasing some of that extra energy or frustration or whatever it is you're trying to move today. And first, feeling into your body, noticing your fingertips, all of your fingertips, maybe even brushing your thumb against the tips of the other fingers. Feeling each of your toes, maybe wiggling your toes or stretching the toes out a little bit. And then feeling fingers and toes at the same time. Slowly scanning your body up and in from the tips of the toes and fingers all the way into the heart center. Take your time noticing anything there is to notice along the way. And once your scanning awareness reaches the heart center, take a moment to notice how you're feeling kind of emotionally or spiritually, how your mental health is today, how your figurative heart is. Just noticing how you feel, how safe you felt to be yourself today and in this moment. And from this space, we're going to keep our awareness here at the heart and then bring in some breath awareness too. So drawing air in. This time we're kind of feeling like we're filling up the heart space and the belly. So kind of a full torso kind of breath here. And exhaling when you're ready. Let's keep breathing like this. We're doing a little diaphragmatic belly breathing and kind of a heart expanding breath. So just kind of feeling as if your breath can help you call back your energy that you've expelled or given away during the day. Just calling that back to your heart, back to the center of your being. Breathing in, energy returns. Breathing out, letting go of any energy that's not feeling like you or any energy that's ready to move. Just refilling, replenishing with the inhales. Softly releasing with your exhales. Keep going here. Letting your body feel restful and soft. And from this heart-centered space, just notice now if you'd like to set a dedication or intention for your practice. And if nothing is quite coming to mind, I may recommend just coming up with one word. It might not even make sense right now as you think of it, but maybe you can hold one word as your intention today, if that suits you. And then let's take 3 clearing breaths together, collectively amplifying those intentions for ourselves and for each other. Inhale through your nose. Sigh or blow out of your mouth to release. We've got 3 of them. Feel free to mix and match that exhale. We're inhaling through the nose. Blow or sigh out of the mouth. One more time. Soften your shoulders and come back to a steady, natural pace of breath. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Let's circle through the wrists and ankles all at the same time. In no particular order, just going both directions at some point. And maybe pointing and flexing or bending the ankle and the wrists a couple times. So just get as much motion going through the ankles and wrists and those fingers. And then work your way into a long body stretch, reaching your arms and legs in opposite directions. Reaching and stretching. Very good. Okay. Let's hug those knees in toward the chest. So just bending your knees and then pulling them in. Kind of opening up through the low back here. Let's take some free movement, a little rocking side to side, perhaps, to start. And then if you like, maybe circling out the knees, maybe the knees circle together, or maybe they circle kind of independently of each other. Just some free movement as you start to kind of loosen up the hips and loosen up the low back, massaging some pressure down through the low back and the sacrum. Oh, that feels so good. Okay. Whenever you feel you've had enough there, let's bring the knees up to the center. We'll do our supine bird dog. So we can lift both hands straight up. Your knees can stay bent here, or you might start to lift and straighten or almost straighten opposite, both of the legs. And with a breath in, we're going to start to lower the right arm and the left leg. So opposite limbs are lowering with your inhale. Exhale, lift them back up to the center. You're feeling a lot of work here through the core. Let's switch sides. Inhale, lower the left arm and the right leg. Exhale, lift back up. You can always bend your knees anytime if you'd like. Inhale, lower the right arm and the left leg. Exhale, bring them back up to center. One last time. Inhale, lower the left arm and the right leg. Exhale to center. Hold on to those knees again, bending your knees, and then reach your forehead up toward your knees, rolling into a tiny little ball here, stretching out that low back again. You could take a little bit of a mini rock side to side here as you massage that area. Taking one more breath in, and then breath out. Let your feet come down to the floor. Let's roll over onto either side, coming to the fetal position for a breath. And then press your way on up to a comfortable seat. You can always come up to a chair if that feels best, or sit up on some blocks. Let's tent the fingertips off to the side so you can sit up nice and tall, lengthening upwards through your spine and through the crown of your head. Take a moment just to feel this nice tall seat. And then with an inhale, let's reach the arms around and up. Join your hands overhead. Option to look up if that feels okay on the neck. Exhale, lower your hands down to heart center, tucking your chin. Let's stay here with your inhale. We're spreading the palms out, keeping the fingertips touching. This is our Hakini Mudra today. And exhale, press the palms back together. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, Hakini Mudra. Those palms spread out, fingertips stay touching. Exhale, palms come together. Inhale, reach both hands high. Exhale, lower your arms around and down. Good, good, good. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, Hakini Mudra, palms spread out. Exhale, palms together. One more time. Inhale, palms spreading, Hakini. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reaching high. With your exhale, let's twist to the right. So the left hand comes to your right knee. Use your right hand behind you to sit up nice and tall. Take a breath in. Exhale, looking and twisting gently over that right shoulder. With your inhale, unwind just enough to take a full breath in. We're staying on this side. Exhale, twist to the right. One more time. Inhale, unwind slightly. Exhale, twist to the right. With your inhale, reach both hands high. We're switching sides. Exhale, twist to your left. That right hand finds the left knee. That left hand props you up, sitting nice and tall. Breathe in. Exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale and unwind slightly. Exhale, twist to the left. One more breath on this side. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come to the center, reach both hands up. And exhale, lower the hands to the floor. Good. Let's come to hands and knees next. So sweeping those legs around and back. Tabletop position for our cat and cow. So spread your fingertips out and grip through your fingertips here. Inhale to lower your belly, lift your tailbone and your gaze, finding your cow pose. And exhale to round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, cat pose. Inhale, cow, belly lowers, gaze lifts. Exhale, cat, round your spine. Go ahead now at your own pace. Inhaling to cow. Exhaling to cat. Any other little movements or twists or turns or variations that you'd like to explore, go ahead and start adding on anything that feels right. And once you feel that your spine is kind of warmed up here, we'll take some circles. I want to say like hula hoop circles. Let's just call that today, or like chest circles. So as if you're hula hooping, we're kind of going to do a rounding up of the back to cat pose and then swooping around and down. So in a way, we're moving through those positions of the spine that we do in cat and cow, but we're doing it in a different plane. So like you have a hula hoop sweeping around you. Go ahead and take your circles, dipping the belly low and then over to the left, up high, to the right, down low, you got it. And then eventually switching directions. Just like in hula hooping, there's usually a direction that feels a little bit more intuitive or easier to do, so don't be surprised if one direction feels like quite a lot of coordination. Okay. And now we'll move into our extended child's pose. So bring those knees out wide, big toes touching behind you. Just start to sink your seat toward your heels. You can either settle in right away, or if those knees need a little bit more warming up, you can come back up to tabletop-ish, and then back a couple of times. Whenever you find the right spot for you, you just settle on in, maybe coming down to your forearms or walking your hands up to the top of your mat and then sinking your head and heart toward the floor. Feel some opening, some length through the back, through the shoulders, maybe other places you can feel into now. See about a couple more rounds of belly breathing here, or heart-centered belly breathing, as if you're expanding your capacity to feel and to be with what is. Two more breaths like that. One more breath in. One more breath out. When you're ready, come back up to your tabletop. Let's find our first downward facing dog today. If you've got your blocks handy, we're bringing those up to the top for our hands to be up on. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. We're still gonna spread the fingertips out nice and wide, gripping into the block or the floor. Curl your toes under and just start to hover your knees up off of the floor for a moment. Press into your shoulders, or press into your hands so your shoulders start reaching, and then bring that tailbone back and up, maybe starting to straighten the legs a little bit, or keeping your knees very bent here. That can be a nicer option if you have tight calves or any kind of hamstring or Achilles tendon or back of the leg type of issues. Find your breath. Maybe start to pedal out your legs by bending and straightening opposite knees. Keep reaching through those shoulders by pressing down into the floor or blocks. And for a moment here, just look at your feet, look at your toes, feel a stretch through your legs or arms. With an inhale, come up to your tippy toes, reaching those heels up. Exhale, lower those heels down toward the floor. They never have to touch the floor. Don't try to force it. Inhale, reaching the heels up, tippy toes. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, come up to your tippy toes. We're going to stay here for the exhale. Inhale, look forward, bend your knees, look to your hands. Exhale, step or walk your feet behind your hands or blocks. Ragdoll, forward fold. Have at least a mini bend of your knees, maybe a big bend of your knees if you want to get deeper into a back stretch. Let your upper body and your head hang loose here. Maybe finding a bit of a swaying motion, or maybe staying still. You might nod your head yes or shake your head no a couple of times. Working with gravity to help you find some length, some traction through your neck. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, halfway lift. Tuck your chin about halfway, so you're just looking straight down at the floor. Exhale, forward fold, bending your knees slightly. Press down through the bottom of your feet, rooting down to rise up with an inhale, rising all the way up. Take your time though, might be a couple of breaths. When you get to the top, let's reach the arms around and up. There's no rush to get there. And then with an exhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Let's just give everyone a couple of moments to get there. When you get there, just feel into your body, scanning from the floor all the way up to the crown of your head. So feeling your feet first, and then working your way up. Let's take a clearing breath in through the nose. Sigh through your mouth. Let your hands come down by your sides. You might kind of shake your hands or kind of like throw your hands a little bit. Or like you have some water on them, you might kind of flick the fingertips. Just getting a little bit of a shake going through the arms first. And then any other body parts that are wanting a little bit of a shake, maybe those shoulders, maybe the legs want to do a little shaking. Go ahead and shake your body anyway. That feels good. Really good for the lymphatic system to get a good shake going. I think it's really good just energetically as well. Whew. Just feels like you're shaking off whatever it is, moving into the present moment. All right. When you're done with a little shake, come on up to the top of your mat. Take a look down at your feet here. We're going to do a little bit of foot yoga, if you will. So just looking at your feet, noticing any differences from foot to foot. Noticing similarities, of course, too. Just taking a good look at your feet. And then pick up your toes and spread your toes out. Just hold them up there with the toes spread. Notice how much effort that kind of takes all the way up the legs. Keep those toes spread out. And then go ahead and set them down. Grip into your toes without curling your toes. We don't want to end up with the toes all curled in. We want to keep that nice lifted and expansive stance as we bring the toes down to the ground. And then just kind of hold, grip with the toes, almost like you're lifting the arches of your feet. Can feel like quite a bit of work here, so just do your best. And then soften. Give the toes a little bit of a wiggle, reset. And now we're going to try to lift just the big toes. So keep all the other toes down on the ground. See if you can pick up the big toes. And if they're not quite listening to you, go ahead and reach down and just pick up the big toes and press your other toes down. Sometimes they just need to kind of learn what it feels like first. I also find that like spreading your fingers out sometimes helps too. So just lifting those big toes, do your best. And then lower the big toes down. We're going to switch. So now we'll keep the big toes down and see if you can lift all the other toes. And again, if they're not quite listening, go ahead and push your big toes down, lifting those other toes up. See if they can stay on their own. Good. Now we're just going to have a little bit of a play time now. So just switch between the two. Let your feet and toes go all the way down. When you're ready, lifting up the big toes. Setting them down, and then switching so the big toes stay grounded, the rest of the toes lift up. And just switch between the two a couple more times. If you want to get fancy, you might have the big toe on one foot lifted while all the other toes on the other foot are lifted. And then switch. It's kind of a brain teaser here. And again, there's something about having the hands moving into weird shapes at the same time that for me seems to help. So just go ahead and keep exploring. Toes lifting, toes lowering. Whenever you feel like you've had enough of that, let's lift up all of the toes again and then spread the toes out. Spread the fingertips out at the same time. We're just giving all of our digits some space. Take a breath in and then exhale to lower them down. All right, with an inhale, let's come up to the tippy toes. So this is also kind of stretching and strengthening the feet. Lift those heels, rise up, strengthening the ankles, strengthening the calves. And exhale, lower down as slow as you can with control. Let's do that a couple of times. We're inhaling to lift up to the tippy toes. Do your best to spread your weight out through all of the toes. And then exhale to lower down. Let's do that about 2 more times. Your inhale has you lifting up, tippy toes. Your exhale has you slowly coming back down. One last time, inhaling to rise. Stay lifted if you want for your exhale. One more breath in, option to sweep the arms around and up. And then exhale, lower the heels, lower the arms. Give those legs a little shake. And then we're up at the top of our mat here. Take a look back down at those feet. Find a comfortable standing position here. Maybe the feet are about hip width distance apart, or maybe a little closer together. Everyone's going to be a little bit different with that. Press your feet down. With an inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, side bend to the right. The right arm lowers, that left arm reaches. Inhale, come back up to the center, lift both hands. Exhale, side bend to the left. The left arm lowers, that right arm reaches. Let's do that again on both sides. Inhale to the center, lifting. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, rise to the center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Let's get flowing now. Let's inhale to come to the center. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Those arms reach wide. We're hinging at the hips with a straight back. And then release the hands toward the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, looking straight down at the floor. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor or blocks. We're stepping the right foot back first, and then your left to your high plank. Shoulders over wrists. Feel your core working. Inhale. And exhale, lower your knees, and then lower your chest. Always working with our baby cobra. It is such a good pose to work with for posture, for lower back strengthening and back strengthening in general. So press the tops of your feet down so much that those knees start to pop up. You feel your glutes and your thighs starting to work a little bit here, keeping you stable and safe. Inhale, lift your head and chest using the strength of your spine and core and not so much your hands. And then exhale to lower down slowly. 2 more like that. Inhale, lifting to your baby cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, baby cobra. Let's stay here. Stay lifted for your exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, lower. Take a breath of rest in and release. Inhale, come up to tabletop, hands and knees. Exhale to child's pose. Big breath in. Feel the mid-back expanding, and then exhale. One more breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, rise up, tabletop. Grab those blocks under your hands if you would like, and then using an exhale, eventually finding your way to downward dog. Feel all of your fingers gripping down into the floor, as if there's like a triangle of space between the thumbs and the pointer fingers. Press into that triangle. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. Last breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, bend both knees, look up to your hands. Exhale, step that right foot forward first, and then your left up to the top, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching those arms around. Join your hands at the top. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Find that center. Maybe closing your eyes as you breathe. Remembering that word or that intention that you set if you had one today. And a clearing breath, inhaling through your nose. Sigh or blow it out. Blinking your eyes open. Your hands could stay at your heart or come down by your sides. We're going to get into a little balancing section here before switching sides. So you maybe toe heel your feet out a little bit wider. Shift all of the weight to that left foot so that our right knee is available to start lifting into one-legged mountain pose. And highly recommend having a wall handy or a chair to hold onto or something as we get going here. You could keep the right toes down on the floor or start to lift that right knee up to about hip height. And then as slow as you can go, the slower the better here, start to reach that left hand toward your right knee. If your hand is down on the floor, that right hand or that left hand could just reach for your right hip, your choice. And then see if you can open that right hand out behind you. So we're in a nice twist toward the right. Again, grab a wall if you want. We are here in our twist. Spread out all of the toes, setting them back down on the floor. One more breath in and breath out. With an inhale, come up to center. So we're keeping the right knee lifted, both hands lift high. With your exhale, transition to airplane pose. So the arms start to reach back, that right leg starts to reach back. You can either keep that right leg lifted or touch your right toes to the floor, your choice. Keep breathing. When you're ready, we're taking a big step back, planting the right foot down on the floor. Bend into your left knee, so we're in a high lunge. Inhale to reach both hands high. Exhale here. Inhale, pick up all the left toes, spread them out. Exhale, set those toes down. Breathe like normal here as you bring both hands down to the floor or blocks. Lower your right knee to the mat. We're transitioning into a side plank here. So we're going to kickstand the right leg or the right foot kind of off of the mat. Right hand plants down to the floor. Do your best to pick up that left knee and reach it straight out toward the back of your mat. Left hand reaching high. You can always improvise if that got confusing. Just go ahead and find what feels like side plank today. Pressing down, reaching high. One more breath in. One more breath out. Keeping that left leg straight, bring your left foot down to the floor. Reach your left hand up and overhead so you find a nice long side body stretch. Maybe you can feel those little muscles in between the ribs on that left side, those intercostal muscles stretching. Let your head kind of relax here, bringing your right ear toward your right shoulder. You might lean back slightly if that feels good. Just one more breath in. And breath out. Bring your left hand down to the floor. Step that left foot back up. Curl your right toes under. Pick up your right knee and then step your right foot to meet your left foot, wherever you're at on your mat. So we're in kind of a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands down to the floor or blocks. Let's step the left foot back first, and then your right to your high plank. Knees can always lower here if you'd like. Let's just have one big breath in. And breath out. Knees lower, chest lowers. Set up for baby cobra here. If you know that your back is feeling healthy and you want to go into full cobra, you are welcome to press up a little higher, but please just be safe and gentle on your body. Press your feet down into the floor, the tops of the feet down into the floor. With your inhale, lifting your head and chest using your strength. If you're trying to find Full cobra, we're going into some passive range of motion by pressing into your hands a little bit more. And then with an exhale, lower down. Go ahead and experiment with cobra or baby cobra for 2 more breaths. Inhaling to rise to some degree. Exhaling to lower. Just be careful. Our bodies are very resilient, but sometimes it's like you just don't have to push it too hard or go too far. Strengthening or stretching here. And once you're done with those 2 more rounds, let's take a breath of rest at the bottom. With an inhale, press your way up to tabletop, hands and knees. And exhale to child's pose. 2 big expansive breaths. Inhale, feel that mid-back widening, expanding. Breath out, let it flow. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Inhale, rise up to tabletop. Grab those blocks if you want under your hands. And eventually exhaling to downward dog. 3 breaths. Inhale, feel those fingertips reach through your shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath in. Breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look up to your hands. Exhale, step that left foot forward first and then your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bending your knees as much as you like. Inhale, press down through your feet, rise all the way up, join your palms together overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take a few moments here to catch up. Finding that center point, that point of balance, that point of awareness and compassion at the heart center. Embodying your intention if you set one. And 1 more breath in and out. Taking a clearing breath now in through your nose. Sigh or blow out of your mouth. Blinking your eyes open if they were closed. Hands could stay at your heart or bring them down by your sides. We'll go through our little balancing sequence again. So remembering how that first side went, please grab a prop or a chair or get close to a wall if you need some extra support. Toe heel those feet out to about hip width distance apart when you're ready. This time all of our weight comes to that right leg. Hands wherever you'd like them to be as you start to find your one-legged mountain pose with the left knee lifting, toes staying down or toes lifting up. Nice and slow again, like you're moving through molasses. Bringing that right hand to your left knee and holding on. See if you can continue to open up, twisting to the left arm reaching back. Just experimenting here. You're not getting graded or anything, so feel free to not even try as hard as you can. Just have some fun in this twist. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. With an inhale, release your grip, reach your hands high. Keep that left knee up. Exhale, airplane pose. Arms sweep back, left leg sweeps back. Maybe the toes find the floor for some support. Maybe those toes fly up, airplane. Take your time here. And eventually take a big step back so your left toes find the floor. Bend into that right knee a little bit. We're finding high lunge. Inhale to reach the hands high. Stay here for your exhale. One more breath in. Pick up all the right toes, spread them out. And then exhale, set those toes down. Breathe like normal as your hands find the floor or blocks on either side of that right foot. Lower your left knee to the mat. And then we're finding our side plank again. So we're kind of kickstanding that left foot off of the mat. So just kind of twisting on that left knee. Press your left hand down into the floor and just do your best to push that right leg back, straightening your right leg to the back of your mat and your right leg reaching to the back of your mat and your right arm high. Side plank here, we're doing a little bit of work. You might feel that core, you might feel that right hip really strengthening here. So I know I always mention it, but we really want to be strengthening through the hips, not just opening. So this will aid in our hip goals here. Let's have one more breath in. And then breath out. Right leg stays straight. Right foot comes to the floor at the edge of the back of the mat. Reach your right arm up and overhead so you find a nice side body stretch. And that left ear might kind of reach down toward the left shoulder. Maybe you lean back slightly. Just taking about one more breath in. And then breath out. Bring your right hand down to the floor. Step that right foot back up. Curl your left toes under. Pick up your left knee. And then step to the front top of your mat. Forward fold at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, rising to the top. Hands join overhead. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take some time finding that center. Noticing your feet for a moment. See if you can feel equal pressure throughout all edges of your feet. Everywhere that's touching the floor. See if you can feel some kind of balanced pressure there. Let's take a clearing breath, inhaling through your nose. Sigh or blow it out. And go ahead and blink your eyes open. Lower your hands down by your sides. We're going to take a big wide-legged stance here. Not as wide as you can go, but a little wider than hip width distance. And we'll just find our willow tree pose. So just let your arms be nice and loose. Start to kind of gently twist side to side, letting your arms be heavy and loose, just like a willow tree swaying in a gentle breeze. Your hands might kind of gently wrap into the body, just like you're kind of knocking gently. And if you get dizzy easily, I recommend keeping your gaze straight ahead, maybe even finding a drishti or an unmoving focal point. If you don't tend to get dizzy and you want to deepen a little bit here, you might look in the direction that you're twisting, but this often can make people feel dizzy if you already have that tendency. So there we go. And then slowing it down, coming back to the center. Doing any little shaking movements that you like. And let's come down to the floor. So just bending your knees, coming on down to a seat first. And eventually we'll be making our way onto the back. So maybe keeping your knees hugged in as you roll down to your back, or bringing those knees in when you arrive. And again, finding some free movement Rocking and rolling, some massaging pressure over your low back, over the sacrum, maybe into those hip joints or the glute muscles. And we'll bring the feet down to the floor here. Arms might come out to the side for support. Press your right foot down as you start to lift and straighten or almost straighten that left foot up toward the sky. Give that left ankle a little bit of love here. We're going to twist and turn through that left ankle a couple of times. Maybe spreading the toes out. Maybe curling the toes down. Just see how many different sensations you can get through your ankle and your foot here. You can always hold on behind that left thigh if that helps your experience. And then pointing your toes, pointing your left toes, just hold there. Feeling maybe a little stretch or a big stretch through the top of your foot. And then flexing, so pulling the toes back toward the body. Maybe you can feel a nice stretch through the calf. And go ahead and alternate a couple of times, pointing and holding, flexing and holding. And then some more free movement or a shake or a wiggle through the left leg and the left foot. And then bend your left knee and place your left ankle just behind that right knee. Figure 4. Maybe staying right here if this feels like a good amount of stretching. Maybe if you're looking for more sensation, you could press your left hand into your left knee, getting some more opening through that left hip joint, left hip flexors. If that's not quite enough sensation, you could try reaching to interlace the fingers behind that right thigh or on top of your right shin. Just make sure your head, your back, your shoulders can all stay connected to the floor. If you're reaching and straining to grab and your head comes up, that's just a sign that maybe you've gone a little too far. So find that sweet spot today. Try to let go of what you think it should look like or anything like that. Just go totally based on how good it feels, how kind you can be with yourself. And then softening all the muscles of your face, or even bringing a slight smile if you want. Just kind of sweetening things. And slowly breathing out, extending that exhale for a couple more breaths. And if that right foot was lifted, bringing the right foot back to the floor. Those arms can come back out wide. Let's take a little twist here so we still have our figure 4 legs. Let's pick up the pelvis, scoot over toward that left edge of the mat, set the pelvis down, and then allow your legs to start twisting toward the right. And if it feels uncomfortable to stay in this figure 4, you can uncross the legs and just stack one knee on top of the other. Your gaze could stay straight up, or maybe you slowly look toward the left. Check and double check for any over efforting here. See if you can soften anywhere possible. And then think about coming back up to our figure 4. Scoot your pelvis back to the center of your mat. Press your right foot down as you once again lift and straighten, or almost straighten that left leg up. And then bend your left knee, set your left foot on the floor. Then we'll switch sides. So the left foot presses down. Excuse me. Right leg starts to straighten or almost straighten as you lift. You can then hold on behind that right thigh if you'd like. Just find as much motion as you can through your right ankle and your right toes. Just kind of intuitively to start. Maybe finding a little shake. Maybe finding a tight spot or a sore spot that you just want to hold. And then at some point here, let's spread out all the right toes. And then release. Point your right toes, point your right ankle. Hold there. Maybe you can feel that stretch through your ankle or the top of your foot. And then flex your right ankle, flex your toes, pulling those toes back toward the body. Hold there. Maybe you can even notice all the way up your calf, maybe even up to the thigh. Point, and then flex a couple more times. And then shake it out. Shake or kick that right leg a little bit. And then bend your right knee and place your right ankle behind the left knee, figure 4. Don't just assume that it'll look the same on side to side. Maybe you want to stay here this time. Looking for variations, we might press the right hand into the right knee. If you still are looking for some more sensation, maybe you reach to interlace the fingers behind that left thigh or on top of the left shin. Again, just keeping the back, the shoulders, and the head connected to the floor here. Nice slow exhales. Softening your facial features or even finding that little smile, only if it feels right. A forced smile is no fun. Just letting that little smile sweeten the pose. And then if that left foot was lifted, bringing the foot back to the floor. Keep our figure 4 legs here. Let's pick up the pelvis, scoot over to that right edge, set down, and then allow your knees, your figure 4 legs rather, to start twisting and lowering toward the left. Keeping those legs in the figure 4 position or uncrossing and just stacking one knee on top of the other. You can either keep your gaze straight up or slowly turn your gaze toward the right. And eventually coming back up to neutral. Bringing the pelvis back to the center of your mat. Reach that right leg up. And then bend your knee. Set your right foot on the floor. If you have any last movements, poses, or stretches that your body's asking you for or needing before final rest, go ahead and move into those poses now. Otherwise, as soon as you're ready, finding a restful position. Could be similar to how you started today in Shavasana or extended, or sorry, constructive rest. That's the word. Those are the words. Or finding another position that feels even more restful to you. We'll take about 10 breaths here. So counting the inhale is 1, exhale 1. Inhale 2, exhale 2. Go at your own pace though. If you lose track, just guess where you're at. Keep softening with every breath. Wherever you're at, take 3 more slow breaths. Slow and full. Just about one more. Knowing that you're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like or need to feel rested. Eventually, when you're ready to reawaken your physical body, let's just take some little movements. Fingers and toes might want to start first. Just move in intuitive ways, slowly bringing more and more movement into your body. Maybe a yawn or a swallow or a clearing breath. And then choose a side, roll over onto either side to the fetal position for one nice round of breath. And then when you're ready, using your hands and arms, all that strength of the upper body to help your way up to a seat. We can join hands in front of the heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Together, bringing thumbs up to third eye center. In a little gesture of gratitude together, if it feels right to you, taking a little bow forward now. Peace. Thanks, everyone.